To all of you watching, thank you for giving me your time, your attention, and your trust. I can't tell you how much it means to have you here, hearing this story. It's raw, painful, and personal. But I know someone out there will relate, and maybe, just maybe, find some sense in my chaos. It all started on an ordinary Thursday, the kind of day where nothing seems out of place, until a single notification changes everything. I was scrolling through my feed, nursing my third coffee of the morning, when I froze. There it was, a post from my girlfriend. "Real men aren't threatened by my ex," it read. A casual line, almost innocuous, but the way it shimmered across my screen felt like a punch straight to my chest. My stomach twisted, a premonition gnawing at me. I responded, impulsively, perhaps foolishly. "You're right," I typed, my fingers trembling slightly. Then something inside me snapped. I wasn't going to sit quietly, swallowing insecurity like medicine. I needed clarity, boldness. I did something I had never done before. I went to her social media, her digital life, in search of a trail, a hint, a breadcrumb that explained the unsettling tension I'd been ignoring. At first, nothing. Her posts were cheerful, pictures of brunch, sunsets, selfies with friends. But then, tucked between mundane updates, I found a message notification from someone she never mentioned. Her ex. Just a few lines, polite, seemingly innocent. But the undercurrent. I felt it immediately. The way she responded, playful, intimate, a language only two people who once shared everything could understand. My heart thudded, confusion mixing with anger, and an itch of suspicion I couldn't shake. I tried to tell myself I was overreacting. I told myself she loved me, that her past was irrelevant. But my instincts refused to be silenced. Something about the way her fingers hovered over the keyboard in her photos, the way she laughed in videos she sent me. It all felt performative, staged for someone else's eyes. I began noticing subtle shifts. Her phone never leaving her side, a sudden preference for secrecy, and worst of all, an uncharacteristic defensiveness whenever I asked simple questions. One night, we were supposed to have dinner together. I arrived at her apartment, keys in hand, expecting the warmth of familiarity. But the door was slightly ajar. I pushed it open, and the apartment was empty. No note, no explanation, just her scent lingering faintly on the couch cushions, her sweater draped over a chair. I called her. No answer. I texted. No reply. And then, in the quiet hum of the city outside, my chest tightened, a whisper of dread creeping over me. Something was wrong. Days passed. I observed, waited, my anxiety growing like an unrelenting storm. Then the clue I had been unconsciously anticipating appeared. A small, innocuous detail that made my stomach drop. She was tagged in a photo at a place she'd told me she hadn't been to in years. And in the corner, partially hidden, was him. Her ex. The context was vague, the smiles ambiguous, but the realization hit me like ice water. I couldn't breathe. I confronted her that night. My voice shook, not just with fear, but with the anger I had tried so hard to suppress. "Who is he?" I demanded, my hands trembling on the edge of the kitchen counter. She paused, eyes flicking to mine, a storm of guilt and panic crossing her face. "He's just a friend," she said, too quickly, too sharply. "I told you I'm over him." Her words sounded hollow, like paper tearing under pressure. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to cling to the life we had built. The nights laughing in our apartment, the small routines that had defined us. But every instinct screamed otherwise. I remembered the post, the flippant dismissal of my feelings, the ex's lingering presence in her life. And in that moment, denial evaporated, leaving only the raw, aching truth. She had been playing a role, and I had been the unwitting audience. I stayed silent, letting the air between us crackle with unspoken words. My mind raced back through every memory, every subtle inconsistency I had brushed aside. The dinners she forgot, the sudden late nights at work, the way her phone would buzz and her expression would tighten, almost imperceptibly. It was all there in plain sight, now assembled like a grotesque puzzle. And my love, the thing I had once thought unshakable, now felt like sand slipping through my fingers. Over the next week, I watched her, tracing patterns, confirming my fears. Each discovery was a fresh wound. Each truth a blade twisting deeper into my chest. She hadn't just stayed in contact. She had been seeking him, testing me, flirting with the familiarity of a love she had once known. My world narrowed to the beat of my own heart, to the constant, throbbing ache of betrayal. I confronted her one final time. No theatrics, no pleading. Just me, and the weight of undeniable evidence. She didn't lie. Not anymore. Her tears were genuine. But they were for her mistakes, not for me. And in her confession, a strange calm settled over me. A grim acceptance of a reality I had tried desperately to avoid. I left that night with nothing but my thoughts and the hollow echo of our apartment. The love I had invested, the trust one had nurtured, the countless little moments we had shared. They were all fragments now, scattered across the floor. And as I walked away, the cold night air biting at my skin, I realized something profound. Betrayal doesn't just shatter trust. It reshapes the very foundation of your identity, forcing you to confront the parts of yourself you never wanted to see. Weeks later, I scrolled past another social media post of hers, smiling radiant, unaware of the devastation she had caused. And I didn't feel anger anymore. I felt something sharper, something quieter, resolve. I would rebuild, piece by piece, learning to trust myself first, before anyone else. Her choices were hers alone, but my life, my heart, remained my own to reclaim. To anyone watching this, I want you to remember something. Betrayal is painful, yes, but it is also a teacher. It strips away illusions, leaving only clarity in its wake. And though the scars remain, they are proof that you survived, proof that you can endure, and proof that you are stronger than the heartache inflicted upon you. That Thursday, the day her post appeared, changed everything. But it didn't destroy me. I'm still here, still breathing, still learning to live with the knowledge that some people are only meant to be lessons in disguise. And in that truth, I found an unexpected, brutal kind of freedom.